This qualifying recap brought to you by Phillips Connect, technology that moves us forward.
If Ricky Fisher wins this race, the door is open. Simple as that. Look at how many very interested Bahrain 1 crew shirts are down on the starting line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, is that 318, I think? One run, one time, and you can lock Stevie Fast out. Chatter of the tire for Ricky, and it is over. The championship celebration on the starting line takes place. Chris Thorne has done it. A couple of years ago, he was upside down in the sand at Indy. Today, he'll be standing on the stage picking up a trophy. Chris Thorne goes 585, 244 miles an hour, but as soon as the green light came on that Toyota scoreboard, he is the champion.
And with that round win, Chris Thorne is now our 2022 Fuel Tech Pro Mod champion. Go ahead and grab that, Wally. It was 3 wins on the season for you, Chris. You earned your very first career win back in Gainesville to kick the season off. What thought did you give at that point to becoming the champion?
I never in a million years would have ever dreamed I'd be up here. Really got to give a special thanks out to my family and everybody who's helped us out. I'm kind of disappointed in myself the way I've drove this year, but I've had the best crew out there that's backed me up every run, and without them, I'd never make it happen. I got a special thanks out to Jamie Miller, Craig Pettis, and Johnny Miller. Could never do it without them. Proline, M&M Trans, Carmack Engineering, Smith Brothers, LAT Oil, all these people have backed me all year, and could never do it without them. Thank you, guys.
With the emotion on high right now, you look over at your car. It's the same car that you had an accident in Indy just a few years ago. To now drive that car all the way to a championship, what does it say about the people that are behind you in this sport?
Says everything. I was upside down in that car, on fire in that car in Indy, skidded all the way to the end of the track. It was in pieces, shoved it in a trailer, took it to Pi at PRC Racecraft, and he completely went through it and gave us one of the best hot rods I could ever ask for, and I'll never sell it.
To be able to now call yourself a world champion in NHRA drag racing, what does that sound like inside your head?
It ain't even set in yet. One day it's going to be everything. It'll set in soon.
Congratulations, Chris.
We are joined in the media center by Top Fuel #1 qualifier Austin Prock, whose run of 3.682 at 334 miles an hour from Friday stood in the #1 spot here in Dallas at the Texas NHRA FallNationals. Austin, your very first #1 qualifier to, obviously you felt good about it last night, but to have that cemented as your first career #1, how cool is that feeling?
It's very cool. I wasn't for sure it was going to be set, at the end of last night, because I know what David Grubnick and Brittany Force are capable, and they came swinging for us this evening. They were a whole 10th quicker than anybody out there. 369 on that track was an unreal run. So glad we were able to, keep our #1 spot and keep the money, and hopefully this will translate into a good day on Sunday. We could use a really good, go some rounds and a win if we want to stay in this hunt. So really looking forward to it, and a great start. We went down the racetrack all 4 runs in qualifying, and I think the last time we did that was Reading, and we ended up with a Wally. So hopefully that'll be the same case tomorrow.
How exciting is it for this team? We talked a little bit about this last night, but you battled the ups and downs of a new team and kind of gelling together. But this countdown to get a win and now to get a #1 qualifier, what's that say kind of about the resiliency of this group? It's
huge. This team, they never quit. Everybody kept their heads down and kept working and kept going for that same common goal of, competing for wins and winning races, and being in the top 3 every time we go up and down the racetrack. So like I said last night, all the parts and pieces are here, and when we get it together, we're right there. So all we have to do is make some smart decisions tomorrow, and if I drive good, we're going to turn on some win lights.
All right, we are joined in the media center by funny car #1 qualifier Matt Hagan, whose run of 3.825 at 334 miles an hour from Friday held up today, giving Matt his 6th #1 spot this season. Obviously a great run last night, but 2 great runs today to head into eliminations. How big was that for you and this team?
Yeah, I mean, we've had 4 really good runs out there, and it's hard to do when you're in a funny car. I mean, it's you put nitro in the tank and you never know what's going to happen. But honestly, just the way Dickie's got this car out in this weekend and the way the car's reacting and driving and just handling, it's just it's been great. I mean, to hang on to that 82 last night was super special. It's you sit back, you go home, and you take a deep breath when you get in your rental car, and you're like, man, we just ran 82 out there. You know what I mean? It's such a cool feeling, to be able to do that and to go up there with that expectation of doing that, and then it comes together. So it just shows you what Dickie and the crew and the guys are capable of when the conditions and the track's there. And I can't say enough about this racetrack and the folks that put this on and being able to throw 15K at these teams, for being number 1 qualifier and different things and all the way down through. And it just goes a long ways, man. I mean, you look at the economy and sponsorship and stuff, it's tough. I mean, and, it cost us an extra $50,000 in fuel just to run around this year versus last year, so 15K goes a long ways for these teams. And, we need to do whatever we can as a sport, as NHRA, as individuals to try to keep these fields full out here. The days of 13 funny cars is not good, so we need to do whatever it takes. So thank you, and hats off to the folks here at Texas Motorplex to throw a little extra cash at some of these teams and give them a chance to get excited to do some of that, especially when it's tough out there. But, man, what a race car I got right now. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, the car is just working well, and you have days like this, and you're like, damn, we don't go out first round. You know what I mean? But it just that's how it goes. You can have 2 great days and then have an awful race day. I mean, the weather looks like it's changing and different things like that. But I mean, the way the car is running and handling, I expect it to have a really good race day. It just. When things click, they click, you know what I mean? And you get that feeling and that vibe, and, it feels really good, So I'm excited. I'm ready to put my mouthpiece in. I'm going to go to bed right now so I can get up and go racing in the morning, So I'm really proud of our guys because we've had a lot of pressure on us to, try to, do better, dig deeper, work harder, and you almost feel like you're getting outworked out there, but nobody works harder than our guys, And so it's just one of those things where, you just got to keep your momentum and your chin up and keep we're still in this fight kind of thing, you know what I mean? And if we can have a good Dallas, we'll definitely be in this fight,
We are joined in the media center by Pro Stock number 1 qualifier Erica Enders, who stayed on top with her run of 6.524, 210 miles an hour from Friday. Her 5th number 1 of the season, 28th in her career. Obviously, I think the bigger thing from today, you made 2 more great qualifying runs, the quickest qualifying run in each of the 4 sessions. How exciting is that? How much momentum does this give your team going into tomorrow?
Well, it's really exciting. Today's weather is significantly different than yesterday's, obviously hotter and a lot wetter. That's something that our cars don't necessarily appreciate, so that's why you saw so many slower elapsed times. So to be able to go out there on a tricky racetrack and to go low the session, the first run was pretty cool, but the second run was kind of a pretty substantial because it was awesome. I mean, super hot. Track was really slick. The car kind of washed out from underneath me a little bit right before the 1-2 gear change. But when they radioed 57 over my helmet radio, I was pretty stoked. So for elite performance, all the guys that work really hard to give us the horsepower. Aaron went 59 right next to me. So I think we have elite motorsports cars in the top 4 positions on the qualifying sheet. So that's really exciting going into Sunday. Tomorrow is going to be a new day. I think the high is like 75 with a lot of chances of the R word, but we're gonna motor through it and see if we can finish it out. But tomorrow will be a long day. I'm excited about it, but to be on the number 1 spot, to get those 12 bonus points, then going in the number 1 spots an additional 8, so that's a full round of racing in normal situations, so that's huge.
Second time in the countdown where you've swept qualifying as far as going low, and I think it's 9 of the 13 runs you've gone low. What's that kind of say about this team, and what has that done, through the most stressful part of the year? What has that done kind of for your confidence, knowing that you've got a car like that heading into eliminations each race?
Well, I've said before, seeing my crew chief's confidence gives me even more confidence in the race car, and just knowing that no matter what the track throws at you, no matter what the weather throws at you, those guys get after it. They're not scared. We don't want to go up there and lay up and miss out on points. So they get after it every single time, and I think it speaks volumes for their talent and their ability, and I'm just really lucky to be their driver.
All right, we are joined in the media center here at the Texas NHRA FallNationals by Pro Stock Motorcycle #1 qualifier Angelle Sampey, whose run of 6.728 at 202 miles an hour from Friday clinched her 5th #1 qualifier of the season and 58th in her career. Obviously a great run last night, but to go out and go 675 to end qualifying today had to be another huge boost of confidence for you going into race day.
Yes, that was a really good run for us. I haven't looked at the computer with Andrew yet, but I'm pretty sure it was as solid as the 72, considering the weather conditions were worse. We have the motorcycle to win the race, as we always do every weekend. I just hope and pray that my team has the rider to win the race. That's what I always shoot for, you know, being the best I can on race day. So the competition makes it pretty tough. It's fierce out here these days. Just getting past first round is always a task, and if you can go all 4 rounds on Sunday, you're usually mentally exhausted at the end of the day, as I have said about 32 times after I won in Ohio. But I'm looking forward to a good day. I'm hoping that the weather can stay clear for us. I know my team's ready for a win. I know Eddie's wanting one as well, so he'll be the one trying to knock down my door, but it's going to be also Matt and Angie and everybody else trying to stop us. But I'm just going to try to keep my head straight, have a good time, enjoy the day, and look forward to putting on that cowboy hat on my head at the end of the day for the first time, since I've never done that yet.
What does a good run to close out qualifying, what does that do just for momentum or confidence heading into an elimination?
It definitely gives you the boost that you need. Going into race day making mistakes is never good. It's like you just want to remember what you did last when you were on the bike, and knowing that I made it perfectly straight down the racetrack with that strong crosswind going, my shift points were right on, and held the throttle all the way to the finish, because the third round, I think it was, I had to let off the gas before the finish line. So going into Sunday, I know what we're capable of. Just going to focus on cutting good lights, decent lights, being consistent on that, and doing my job with driving. So I have, the motorcycle is plenty quick enough to win the race. If I just do a good job driving it, we should have that cowboy hat at the end of the day. I'm going to talk about the cowboy hat a lot, because I want the cowboy hat.
Somebody knock Caps out of the saddle? Not going to be Tim. How about 3.8? 2.5, 334 miles an hour, and Matt Hagan rockets to the top spot with a new Texas Motorplex track record, 3.825, 334 miles an hour. Hey, Caps, get out of my saddle.
Well, you brought up the good point that Matt Hagan's probably the most comfortable sitting on an actual saddle. But let's talk about inside of an 11,000 power funny car. How aware are you of it, of being a record run when you're in the car?
Well, the hardest thing to do with one of these cars is to drive one is not to drive it, you know, and the shaft was so fast that the rear end was trying to pass the front, and I was just like, don't touch it. But that just goes to show what Dickie Venables, this Dodge horsepower can make. Tony Stewart Racing, and giving us all the parts and pieces, and I'm glad we win him a little bit of money tonight, you know what I mean? Maybe he'll buy me a beer, I don't know. But it's one of those things where I'm just really happy with our team and what they put together tonight. Thank you so much to everybody that put this together. You know, it's unreal that we get to come out here and really kind of throw down for this kind of money on a Friday night, you know. And so I just can't say thank you enough to the track owners and everybody that put this together. It really is special to us, and we're glad we're doing it. And yeah, hell, that was a hell of a run.
You knocked it over in all the excitement, but Matt, this is $15,000. I think you can buy all of us a beer.
Where you sign on the back so we can cash this thing real quick?
I'm at the cash at the start line.
Right,
nice
good.
job. Woo!
Brittany and Austin coming after it. Nice, nice, nice. 368 and a 368. How about Austin Prock goes to the top, 334 miles an hour.
If this sticks through qualifying tomorrow, it is the very first #1 qualifier of Austin Prock's career. Now, I've got to tell you, not all of them pay out $15,000, but Austin, this is pretty special. What work went on back in the pits to make this happen tonight?
You know, it was a really long night, and thank you to all the fans for staying out and, waiting to see that deal. But to win this $15,000 for my Montana brand Rocky Mountain Twist team is unbelievable. It's been a trying year. Everybody's been busting their ass, and it paid off tonight. So hopefully this will stick for, the rest of the weekend. And to get a number 1 qualifier, that's a dream of mine. So checked another one off the list this season, and let's keep her going.
I think Austin might still be sitting here tomorrow morning. What do you think, Alan?
Erica in the left side, Aaron in the right. Final 2 Pro Stock cars. Friday under the light. .524, 210 miles an hour. Give Erica the money.
As Erica Enders got out of the car, she came around. She looked up at the stage. She said, "Christian, it was your buddy. He was up there. He waited forever, but ultimately it was you." Low of both sessions today here in Texas. How important is this for you?
This is huge. As everybody knows, this is my home state. I bleed Texas through and through. So it's definitely awesome to put that milling performance on the number 1 spot, especially on Friday night with that big money bonus. So thank you to the Meyer family and this great place that I've been racing at since I was 8 years old, and just have had a lot of fun here. But honestly, that wasn't the greatest run in the car from behind the wheel. The lights are bright out there, but the racing surface is really dark. As everybody knows, the groove is narrow here, so it was hard to find, and got out of it a little bit there, so it probably cost us. But either way, this milling performance Chevy Camaro's running on me, and I just got to do my job.
And now you get to take home $7,500. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And when I walked off the stage, the guy who followed me was Roger Penske. And I remember thinking, man, I don't belong here.
Sounds familiar.
Angelle is tearing it up down low. Can she keep the momentum going top end? 672. How about 202 miles an hour? That'll get them high-fiving down there on the Vance and Hines side of the racetrack.